It's time to go right. Welcome to the Go Right Life with Peter Boykin's voice. It's time to stand up. It's time to make a choice. Welcome to the Go Right Vibe with Peter Boykin's voice. It's time to stand up. It's time to make a choice.
Giving us no choice. We got to go to the federal level. We got to go to Donald J. Trump, because he's made it clear what he's going to do. This is America. You bringing these people over here that's from socialist countries and all this and that, and y'all think y'all going to run that here. Black America said, no, you not. The true white Americans are saying, no, you not. The true Latino, the true Asians are saying, no, you not. I'm telling you, Brandon Johnson, from my heart to yours, Trump 2024. No more blue, no matter who.
In an age where news spreads faster than ever, discerning fact from opinion has become a daily challenge. For supporters of Donald Trump, it's more than a feeling that the mainstream media may be pulling the strings where there are numbers to back it up. The Media Research Center recently dove deep into the data, examining coverage across major networks like CBS, NBC, and ABC since Joe Biden left the race. Their findings confirm that many Trump backers have long suspected there's a considerable tilt in how the news gets reported. According to the report, Kamala Harris has received favorable coverage in 78% of stories, showcasing her in a positive light. Meanwhile, 85% of stories about Donald Trump skewed negative, focusing on criticism and controversies. For many Americans, this imbalance highlights the troubled trend in news reporting, where certain voices and perspectives seem prioritized. In response, alternative outlets like hashtag GoRight with Peter Boykin and GoRightNews.com have emerged to bring different angles to light and share stories that feel the mainstream media overlooks. Here, readers find and listen to stories and insights that challenge the narratives dominating network news, aiming to balance the conversation. If you haven't done it already, please hit the share button. Please follow this podcast. We'll be right back with more hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin. Remember, we fight for what's right because it's time to go right.
Time to go right. Time to go right. Time to go right.
Welcome to hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin, where we cut through the noise to bring you the stories shaping our nation from a constitutional, liberty-first perspective. Today, we're diving into major stories that reveal America's heartbeat, freedom, opportunity, and a shift in political tides. First, the saga of Steve Bannon takes a turn. Recently released from jail, Bannon's return served as a reminder of resilience amid ongoing political battles, a victory for free speech advocates everywhere. Next, Texas shines as a beacon of economic opportunity. In the fiscal year 2024, the Lone Star State led the nation in job creation. This growth proves what we believe. When government empowers individuals and gets out of the way, American innovation and ambition will thrive. And an exciting development, recent polling shows a surge in support for Donald Trump among black men, rising from 19% in 2020 to an unprecedented 28.2%. This shift isn't just about numbers, it's a wake-up call to a broader American community, rejecting labels and divisions, opting instead for policies that prioritize economic freedom, safety, and opportunity. Here on hashtag Go Right, we go beyond the headlines to explore the real implications of these stories ones that speak to a constitutionally grounded vision for our nation's future. Join us as we dive into these events and pathways they pave for a freer, more prosperous America. We'll be right back.
Tonight, there's new reporting about Joe Biden and a moment that explains why things are the way that they are. Sources tell CNN that the president is in do no harm mode, stapling himself to the bench at the direction of the Harris campaign. Well, even from the White House, he may have done some pretty significant harm in the final week of the campaign. Just listen to this, and you be the judge.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done, everything we've been.
Joining us now, Franklin Leonard. He is in our fifth seat. He's the founder and CEO of the Blacklist. That was a moment, and not a moment that the Harris campaign wanted. I want to just read, this is Biden on X trying to clarify all of this. He says, earlier today I referenced to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump's supporters at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, which is the only word I can think of to describe it. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say.
Let's explore a surprising shakeup in the media landscape that even caught our attention. Jeff Bezos, Amazon founder and the owner of the Washington Post, has come out swinging against the very industry he's invested in. His recent article, The Hard Truth Americans Don't Trust the News Media, calls out persuasive media bias and acknowledges that millions of Americans have felt for years. Their trust in the media has hit rock bottom, citing a Gallup poll showing only 31% of Americans still trust mainstream media. Bezos didn't mince words, calling out the Post and similar outlets for increasing catering to elite circles instead of speaking to real concerns of everyday citizens. What's even more intriguing is that Bezos' Washington Post recently declined to endorse Kamala Harris for president, a decision that bucks nearly 4 decades of the paper's Democratic endorsements. Since breaking that tradition in 1988, the Post has consistently backed Democratic candidates, making this unexpected turn, especially in the lead up to a pivotal election. So what's going on here? Some speculate Bezos might be looking at the same polling data we all see and making a strategic shift. With conservative support on the rise, including among traditionally Democratic demographics, Bezos may be hedging his bets, positioning himself to align with a potential Trump presidency in 2024. And he wouldn't be the first corporate heavyweight to take notice. Google's Sundar Pichai recently called Trump to compliment him on a well-received campaign stop, a signal that some big names are paying attention to the political winds. Whether it's a self-preserving pivot or a genuine come to Jesus or come to God moment for Bezos, this sudden shift from the Post marks another stumbling block for Kamala Harris's campaign. She's lost not only the Washington Post endorsement, but also the support of major voices like the LA Times and the Teamsters Union. For Harris, it's a sharp reminder of just how challenging the race to 2024 has become. So is this a sign of a broader media reckoning? Or are we simply seeing calculated moves as big players brace for a shifting political landscape? Stay tuned as we unpack what this all means for the race ahead right here on #GoRight with Peter Boykin. We'll be right back.
Dad's gonna be proud of me today. Oh! Oh! The hell's wrong with you? You know who I am? Do you know who my dad is?
Who are you?
My dad's gonna sue you. He's a congressman.
I'll blast you again if you don't back
My
up.
dad's a congressman.
Oh, really? Where? Oh, hey. Let's get out of here. Oh, really? Where? Oh, hey. Let's get out of here.
In a bold legal move, Philadelphia's District Attorney Larry Krasner has filed a lawsuit against tech mogul Elon Musk, alleging that Musk's America PAC is engaging in an unlawful lottery to bolster voter turnout. Musk's PAC recently offered $1 million prize to randomly selected voters who sign a petition in support for the First and Second Amendments. Krasner, whose campaign was heavily backed by progressive financier George Soros, claims this initiative violates state laws by effectively buying personal information and political pledges in exchange for cash. Even though George Soros seems to be buying lawyers and judges. Allegations against Musk's America PAC. Krasner's lawsuit accuses Musk of using deceptive practices to obtain citizens' personal data, alleging that the cash incentive is a way to lull voters into providing their information and supporting Musk's petition. Musk's giveaway, however, does not require any voter to align with a specific political party, and his stated goal is to increase voter registration in Pennsylvania, which is a critical swing state. Musk's America PAC initially offered a $47 net incentive for every referred registered voter who signed his petition. On October 19th, Musk elevated the stakes by adding a daily $1 million prize that will be continuing until Election Day. The PAC's incentives are designed to expand voter participation without explicitly endorsing any party, but Krasner's suit argues that the financial incentives for registration may cross ethical and legal lines in Pennsylvania. Now let's tell you a little bit about the background of Larry Krasner. District Attorney Larry Krasner has become a controversial figure in Philadelphia politics. He's funded by billionaire George Soros. Krasner has become part of a wave of district attorneys supported by Soros across the nation, pushing progressive reforms within the justice system. Critics claim Krasner's policies have gone too far in accommodating criminals, while supporters argue it is necessary to drive systematic change, which is not good in a lot of cases. Further complicating the Pennsylvania voter landscape, recent reports have surfaced regarding potential fraudulent voter registration forms in Lancaster County, where thousands of applications with identical handwriting were submitted. These allegations of voter fraud in Pennsylvania add another layer of controversy as both parties prepare for high-stakes battles in the upcoming election. Now, adding to Democratic concerns, early voting data reveal a significant shift from the 2020 election. While Democrats held a 41% early voting advantage in 2020, that margin is now tightened to 27%. Many analysts see the shift as evidence of Republican momentum, especially in pivotal states like Pennsylvania, where the balance of power could sway the national outcome. Krasner's legal challenge is widely seen as a strategic effort to halt Musk's influence on Pennsylvania's voter registration ahead of Election Day. Now, critics of Krasner argue that his focus on Musk's initiative rather than on alleged voter fraud issues in his state reveals partisan motives. For Musk, however, the goal remains clear: encourage greater civic participation and reinforce foundational constitutional rights, irrespective of political affiliation. We'll be right back with some great #GoRight headlines.
It's terrible. He's not Hitler, and all of his supporters, they're standing behind him because they want to see country successful. And we see what kind of support he has.
Right.
Why do you think he does this? He doesn't have to do it. You know, we hear Eric Trump all the time say, my dad could be on a beach, my dad could retire. He has these buildings and businesses. Why do y'all do this? Why'd you choose to do it again?
He loves his country and he wants to make it successful and for all of the people. Yeah. You know, he loves people and he wants to make this country great again.
Welcome back, and let's go over some hashtag Go Right headlines. Virginia files Supreme Court appeal over voter rolls dispute. Virginia has filed an urgent appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court after a federal judge appointed by President Biden ruled that the state must reinstate 1,600 non-citizens into its voter rolls. The ruling comes just days before the pivotal 2024 election, sparking concern among Virginia officials who argue it undermines the integrity of their voter database. The judge's decision cited that certain procedural issues invalidated Virginia's recent purge, but state officials insist their removal processes are lawful and necessary. Now the Supreme Court will be tasked with deciding whether Virginia must comply with the judge's last-minute mandate to alter its voter rolls. I'm hoping that the non-citizens don't get to vote in this election. Well, this is all tied up. Meanwhile, Nevada Supreme Court permits extended mail-in ballot counting. In a decision that has stirred debate, the Nevada Supreme Court has ruled that mail-in ballots can be counted for up to 3 days after a November 5th election, even if they lack a postmark. I don't like that one. Supporters argue that the ruling safeguards voter inclusion by accounting for mail delays, while critics worry it opens the door to potential inconsistency as the vote counting process. And this ruling means that Nevada election officials could still be tabulating ballots well after Election Day, heightening the potential for delayed results in key races. This decision is particularly consequential as Nevada's tight political landscape could make these late arriving ballots a determining factor in close races. Meanwhile, there's allegations that surface of Tim Walz's relationship with a CCP official's daughter. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is under scrutiny following allegations that he had a covert relationship with the daughter of a Chinese Communist Party official while teaching in China in 1989. Reports suggest Walz, who is a high school teacher at the time, may have become closely involved with the CCP's official's daughter during his stay. This alleged relationship has raised questions among critics about his interactions with foreign interests, giving China's growing influence on global and U.S. affairs. Governor Walz's office has yet to respond to the claims, but some are calling for a deeper investigation into his ties and possible influence from the CCP. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan rejects Kamala Harris's interview over campaign demands. Podcast host Joe Rogan recently declined an interview with Vice President Kamala Harris, citing several demands made by her campaign. I think one was to only talk for an hour, and he doesn't like doing that because he likes to keep it open. That Rogan found unacceptable. Rogan, known for his unfiltered approach and reluctance to bow to political pressure, explained that he welcomes an open dialogue, but won't compromise his format or integrity for political figures. Despite the rejection, Rogan added that he remains open to hosting Harris if her team reconsiders its demands. This decision reflects Rogan's commitment to maintaining a platform free from constraints, underscoring his influence in political discourse and his appeal to audiences seeking transparency. Meanwhile, Pennsylvania, Trump voter arrested after encouraging voters to stay in line. A Pennsylvania resident, is known Trump supporter, was arrested after urging fellow voters to remain in line at a polling station that announced an early closure due to technical problems. According to reports, the polling site faced computer issues, prompting election officials to announce that voters in line might not be able to cast their ballots. When the Trump supporter encouraged others to remain until the issues were resolved, law enforcement detained him for allegedly creating a disturbance. The incident has sparked backlash from voter advocacy groups who argue that voters should have the right to remain in line and cast their ballots even if technical issues arise. I'm surprised because I know this has happened where Democrats have done this, and I don't think they got arrested, but oh my God, a Republican did. All right, we'll be right back with our hashtag GoRight recap.
They say the news is breaking, but it's already broken. Twisting the story, leaving the truth unspoken. Virginia files, Nevada delays, counting ballots in so many ways. The lines get blurred, who's playing the game? Go Right News says it loud, calling the names. Turn up the truth, turn up the lights. We're constitutionalists for America's fight. Hands in the air, we're taking a stand. Calling out bias, united as one band. Don't look away, the stakes are high. It's time for truth right here tonight. Tin walls past, whispers from afar. China connections, played like a car. Media's twisting, spinning the wheel. Bezos talks bias, how does it feel? Joe Rogan said no, couldn't play by the rules. Keeping it real, no talk for the fools. Dance with the facts, don't be swayed. We're constitutionalists, not afraid. Go Right News, yeah, turning it up. We're breaking the chains, can't get enough. Left, right, bring it to life. It's all about truth, we'll party all night. Philly's DA playing his hand. Lawsuit on Musk trying to control the land. Votes and voices, a million cries. They fear the power when the people rise. From coast to coast, we're breaking through. The Constitution's calling, we're coming for you. Pennsylvania votes told to step back, lines closing early. Oh, what's that lack? Trump supporters standing in line, justice should wait. We're taking our time, we're here to shake it, won't miss a beat. The power's in truth, it's time to repeat. Freedom's our rhythm, truth is our song. For constitutionalists, we march strong. Go Right News, pushing through, fighting the bias, fighting for you. Light up the night, justice is here. This is our anthem, let's make it clear.
Welcome to the hashtag GoRight recap, your quick dive into the latest that we just talked about, but in case you missed it. First, Virginia filed an emergency appeal with the Supreme Court after a Biden-appointed judge ordered 1,600 non-citizens reinstated on voter rolls just days before the election. Virginia officials argue this undermines election security. In Nevada, the state Supreme Court will allow mail-in ballots to be counted up to 3 days after November 5th. Even without a postmark. This has raised concerns about delays in election integrity in close races. Allegations have surfaced that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz had ties to a Chinese official's daughter while teaching in China, sparking fresh concerns about foreign influence. Jeff Bezos criticized media bias, including the Washington Post, which he owns, which now refuses to endorse Kamala Harris, a break from its longstanding Democratic support. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan declined an interview with Kamala Harris after her team attempted to add conditions, and he insisted on open conversations without political strings. And in Pennsylvania, a Trump supporter was arrested for encouraging voters to stay in line after polling closed early due to tech issues, sparking debate over voter rights. It's a big week in America, and we'll be tracking all these stories as we move ever so closer to Election Day. For all of these details and ongoing updates, head over to GoRightNews.com. Keep checking out Go Right News and Go Right with Peter Boykin. And check out our latest videos on Rumble. Look for hashtag Go Right with Peter Boykin on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter, X or whatever they call it now, and stay connected. If you want to support our work, you can also donate at Cash App, $ Peter Boykin, the number 1. Links are on GoRightNews.com and PeterBoykin.com. Thanks for joining, and stay tuned to hashtag Go Right, where we bring you the news that matters. God bless everybody. Peace.
I think what some voters are struggling with, and we've heard this across the state, is when you discuss your plans, they come back and ask, well, why haven't you done it already?
Well, I'm not president.
You're vice president.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to tell you what I'm doing as president when I have the ability then to do what I know based on my experience is a new approach that is about building on the good work that has happened. But there's more to do. There's more to do.
I went to the petting zoo and I let the goat lick my penis. I shaved the dog and glued the hair to my nutsack so I look like a grown man.
Okay, that's enough. Stop.
It's time to go right.